Hi and welcome along to a very, very special Tactical Insight show where we're going to be looking at the North London derby with my man Graham. You know he's got the tactics. We've got the legendary high-tech board up here, right? No, we haven't got the new one yet. But what I really wanted to find out, Graham, is how are we going to beat Tottenham? It's such an important game on Sunday. Every Arsenal fan is desperate to win that. But much as we hate them, much as we dislike them, we have to be honest and admit they're a very good team. They're above us at the moment. They're a very good team. They had that fantastic win over Chelsea, so they'll be coming full of confidence. How do we beat them? And how did you, I know that on the board you've got like a formation from last year and formation that you think we should go with this year. But we're going to start off with last year when we beat them 2-0. Which what I thought was possibly our best performance of the season at the Emirates. The place was rocking. We played brilliant football under Wenger that day. How did we do it? What was the formation? Fire away.
Well, I think first of all, we bullied them all over the pitch. I can remember that game.
Which was something that we weren't expecting.
We weren't expecting. Tottenham are a very physical team, and we bullied them all over the pitch that day in this formation, Robbie. 3-4-3. So it's... we have now gone to the three at the back against Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So I would say...
And that worked pretty well.
It worked pretty well. So I'm looking at what we did against them last year and also looking at the way they played against Chelsea at the weekend. They played like a diamond midfield four and they targeted the centre of Chelsea's midfield, which is Jorginho and Kante. Now if I can just flip over here to the board here. These are our two centre mids, Torreira and Xhaka. Who basically we look to build our attacks mainly through. And I'm pretty sure that they'll have a very similar game plan. They look to press Xhaka, press Torreira, who they see as building our attacks. So I think it's key what we do about that, right? So they played a 4-4-2. They had Song close to Kane up front. They played Eriksen wide left in attacking, and Dele Alli, who I have to say pressed really well in that game, wide right in his new sort of withdrawn midfield role, but he basically is so flexible that he drifts where he likes on the pitch. Then they had their two hard-working midfielders, Dyer, who's such an ugly footballer, Dyer, and they had Sissoko. So how do we get round that? And I look for evidence at what we did last year. When we played them, we beat them 2-0 on that day with a Mustafi headed goal from a free kick and with a Sanchez goal. In the first half, we were 2-up. And what we did really well that day is we looked at Tottenham's strengths and give Wenger credit tactically. I used to slate Wenger tactically. You used to slate Wenger tactically as well.
Me?
Too. Yeah, you, mate.
Me? I remember you.
Yeah. But Wenger did something really good this day, and that was he looked at the fact that Tottenham like to control the centre of the pitch. Right? Everyone thinks Tottenham are a great pressing team from the front. Kane does press, but their main press comes from these areas, from Ali and from Eriksen, and from their two centre mids. They like to press high in the middle third of the pitch to win the ball back and then get the ball out wide to their wing backs or full backs and get the ball into Kane. So what did we do that day that nullified Spurs? I'll tell you what we did. We took the midfield out of the equation, basically. We went long, more than we've ever done that I can ever remember under Wenger. Now, under Wenger, we used to play through the centre of the pitch, a bit like we do now under Emery, build the attacks up either through the full-backs, controlled possession, stable possession, defence into midfield. And you said to me the other week about going long against Wolves. Well, against Wolves, going long would have probably not been right because they were sitting so deep. But Tottenham like to push up. We know Tottenham like to push up. So if we are going to take the midfield out of the equation and playing long, their back four's got to drop. So their back four's got to drop. We also take Eriksen and Ali out of the game pressing-wise, so we bypass the midfield and we go long, looking to get our maybe diagonals to our wing-backs, Bellerin or Kolasinac, and get support up around them and get the ball at the area of the pitch where puts Tottenham in the defensive area of their pitch more than where they want to be. So what I would like to do in that game is replicate what we did last year against Spurs. We've just moved to this three at the back. We could play three at the back again. The three at the back he used on that day was Mustafi, Koscielny and Monreal. He had Bellerin and Kolasinac in the wide areas as wing-backs and Ramsey and Xhaka. Ramsey was very disciplined that day, sat with Xhaka. And then we had Ozil, who was man of the match that day. So we talked about in the last video, should Ozil come back? Certainly at home he has to come back. and he was instrumental in linking all the play that day. Lacazette was coming short receiving the ball, and Sanchez was absolutely immense. Now, we haven't got Sanchez this year, so that obviously is going to be a big miss. But I still believe that if we can look at what Tottenham like to do, Tottenham are very strong in central midfield. I want to take their centre midfield out of the game.
Okay.
And I want us to go long, and I want us to get Ozil, Lacazette and Aubameyang supported by Kolasinac and Bellerin. So Leno to go long to Bellerin or go long to Kolasinac.
So not because one thing we've been doing all season is playing it out short.
Yeah.
Building all our attacks. You don't think we'll do that at all?
No,
or you don't want us to?
I don't want us to. And I know Emery likes to build from the back, but I would rather he looked at the video last year, and he does look at videos. If he looks at the video last year, he will see that last year only something like 9% of our play came through the midfield.
And certainly Leno against Bournemouth was kicking a lot longer than I've seen him kicking in hardly any games that we've featured.
So I think that is a good way to sort of like maybe push Tottenham back and sort of like play to our strengths and take their strengths out of the picture. So I would play a 3-4-3 against Tottenham this week. Whether he does or not, I don't know. But we said earlier that Kolasinac is suited to a wing back more than a full back, and we have to recognise their strengths. They're going to press our two centre mids. They're going to look to overload with their full backs out wide, and Kane, Song off Kane is a real threat. So we need to sort of like, I think, Torreira and Xhaka are going to be tremendously disciplined and deny Song the chance to get in that hole, that hole between their midfield and Kane to get opportunities to run at our defence.
No Iwobi.
Well, I wouldn't be against Iwobi playing. I think he has to make a choice. All right. So, do you want? I prefer Lacazette and Aubameyang. Now, I'm looking at this and thinking 3-4-3. You could even sort of like drop Ozil in here. Mm-hmm. So we go 3-5-2. So if you, this is a sort of a fluid. Yeah. The key to me is having the three centre backs for stability, the two wing backs as the outlets, and maybe as sort of like. They can sort of like be in positions for long diagonals where we can play out. They can push up the pitch. Ozil could easily come in here, couldn't he? Yeah. And create behind Lacazette and Aubameyang.
Against Liverpool, who play in a very similar fashion to Tottenham, we didn't go with the 3, did we? We went with the 4-3-3. We went.
No, we went 4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1. Yeah. Why not do the same in this game? It's a similar type of team, isn't it? Although we did go short with everything, and Liverpool didn't really. I was surprised Liverpool, they didn't press high, did they?
But I think you have to recognise on that day, Liverpool's midfield was lacking its normal personnel. Yeah. They had Fabinho, who's just feeling his way into the team. They had no Henderson and no Naby Keita. So on that day, it worked well because the key components in the Liverpool central midfield was missing. So we have to say that. I think Tottenham's. I'm looking at Tottenham's strength. I believe Tottenham's strength is the way they press in the middle third of the pitch. The way Eriksen and Ali win balls back to get their overloads out wide and get the ball into Kane, get Song on the ball. I want to take that right out of the picture, Robbie. I want us to sort of like, for once, replicate what we did last year. Look to go longer more. I'm not saying we can't occasionally mix it up and go through the midfield, but I think they're going to look. Pochettino will look at Torreira and Xhaka as being the main. Possession builders for the side and all our attacks mainly coming from here, and I think he'll look to target these two in much the same way as he targeted Jorginho. And Tottenham have got the one thing about Pochettino who's demonstrated he's quite flexible in his tactics. They could play 3 at the back themselves and go with the wing backs high and match us up in that if we go with that formation. But the one thing my mate Lee Judges always says is that one good thing about Emery is we do not know what he's going to do week to week, and that is a real credit to him. You don't know what formation he's going to play week to week, and he could go with the 4-2-3-1. I just think this system offers more solidity with the 3 centre backs. We saw it at Bournemouth, the fact that we were more solid, particularly second half, once the players got to grip with the system. And also Bellerin and Kolasinac, that maximises their strength, particularly Kolasinac. I don't want to see Kolasinac defending. I want to see him attacking. Now, if Monreal was a left back, I would say you could argue that we could play the 4 at the back. But I think Emery showed on Sunday against Bournemouth, he's recognised that Kolasinac is great going forward, but not great defensively, and I think that's why we went with the wing backs.
Also, what he did in that game against Bournemouth, got got left out, Ozil.
Yeah.
But for you, he'll definitely be back in for that Tottenham game.
Ozil, you want your big players to step up in big games. Now, Ozil had an exceptional match last year at the Emirates. People criticise him for not turning up in big games. I have to say, I don't think the stats always prove that. I think he has goals and assists in big games. But I think last year against Tottenham was probably one of his best performances of the season at the Emirates. And these three players up front last year, Ozil, Lacazette and Sanchez, were absolutely brilliant in the first half and won us the game. But they had to have the platform to do that. And what Wenger did really well, we had Mustafi Koscielny, who kept Kane really quiet, and we had the wing-backs pushing up and exposing Davis. I think a key area really, Davis to me is not as good as Rose, as a Tottenham left-back. And I think Davis is someone we've had joy against in the past, exposing him out wide left. I want to see us sort of like get at Davis. That means that Eriksen's got to come back and sort of like maybe offer protection to Davis. So Eriksen's not so much of a threat going forward. The key to me is looking at, midfield is always crucial in games of football for me. Whoever sort of like wins the midfield battle normally dictates the match. Tottenham, I think, to me, that's their strongest area, that middle third. I want to take their midfield right out of the equation and get it up to our strengths. Our strengths are these three attacking players, Ozil, Lacazette and Aubameyang, and I think that's where we could win the game, Robbie.
Okay, well, what do you guys think? Let us know, leave it in the comments below. Do you agree with Graham? Do you agree that it should be three at the back formation, or do we go all out attack? What do you guys think? Let us know. Graham will jump in the comments as well and give you his assessment of it as well personally. But thanks for watching, and let's hope, no matter what the formation is, that we beat the Spuds.
Come on, you guys.
Hi, how you doing, everybody? This is Ian Wright. Don't forget to check out my new YouTube channel. The link is in the description. Check it out, man. It's gonna be.
Yo, what are you doing, man?
I'm sorry, Rob. I had to touch the Holy Grail mic, bro.
No, you can't do that, bro. What are you doing? You can't.
Like a rascal like that, bro.
Don't forget to check out Ian Wright's brand new YouTube channel. The link is in the description. It's going to be brilliant.